Welcome to Britain Fights Back. As you know, we're a new channel and can do with your support. You can do this by pushing the free-to-use subscribe button below. This helps our channel grow, but costs you nothing. Please note, for the sake of YouTube rules, I need to use the word ape instead of the R word. I'm sure you'll understand. Britain's moral foundation faces its gravest challenge as the nation confronts the systematic exploitation of vulnerable children by Pakistani ape gangs, exposing failures across law enforcement, social services, and the political establishment. What first emerged in Rotherham has now revealed itself as a national scandal, with authorities consistently prioritizing political correctness over protecting our children. The British people were tricked, under the threat of being labelled racists, into shutting up for the sake of diversity. But, each day we hear more, and more people speaking out about the deprived sadistic treatment of our daughters at the hands of those we invited in. Who, in my humble opinion, should now be deported back to the shite holes they came from. Each day, new and distressing news come out, about the Pakistani ape gangs torturing our children. Each day we see new links to these gangs, and the British Labour political party, now running our country, into the ground. Raja Miah is a man of Pakistani heritage. But rather than aping, he has been fighting on behalf of our children for many years. Miah is described as a dangerous man by senior British Labour Party politicians who now sit in our government. However, Her late Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, thought differently when she awarded Mr. Miah an MBE for his services to the community. He was only 30 years old at the time. Raja is nationally recognised for his expertise in tackling extremism, safeguarding children, and strengthening local communities. He's worked with world leaders, including UK Prime Ministers and Secretaries of State. Raja educates working-class white communities and anti-sectarians from black and ethnic minority backgrounds to hold politicians to account and safeguard communities from the real extremists. He is responsible for exposing the cover-up of the grooming and gang ape of children in his hometown of Oldham. For the last 6 years, he has been leading the campaign for a public inquiry. He tells us, Labour Party politicians have had him maliciously arrested, and the leader of Oldham's Labour Council has even posted love hearts in response to the offer of his murder. Recently, he posted a picture on his Twitter account, pointing out the scale of the cover-up in Oldham. He tweets, "Not only can you see Oldham Council leader, Aruj Shah, hanging off the arm of the convicted getaway driver of the cop killer Dale Cregan, and partying with a man wearing a UK Labour rosette that kidnapped and tortured someone. Yet, even knowing this, the Labour Party appointed Aruj Shah as its chair of the powerful National Constitutional Committee." He states, "I do not believe that Oldham is the only town controlled by Pakistani gangsters. These are the people Keir Starmer relies on to stay in power. This is another reason why the Labour Party wants to block a public inquiry." On his Twitter X page he asks, "Is Jess Phillips aware that ape genocide was a strategy used by the Pakistanis in their attempted genocide of the Bangladeshi people?" He goes on to explain, "Official estimates put the number of Bengali women aped at between 200,000 and 400,000, although, even those numbers, are considered conservative. Girls, as young as 9 years old, were systematically gang-aped in an attempt to wipe out the Bangladeshi populace. The strategy of ape genocide was particularly encouraged by Islamic clerics in West Pakistan who saw the East Pakistanis Bangladeshi as inferior and their practice of Islam as corrupted." A couple of days ago, Raja released information that former Oldham Council leader Amanda Chatterton, voted out of her role for helping cover up the grooming and gang ape of little girls, was then taken care of by UK Labour and landed herself a top job as campaign manager for the now Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper MP. And I've got to say, this goes beyond bloody disgusting. It shows Yvette Cooper has the morals of a gaseous turd that just won't flush. Raja goes on to say, "This is the same Yvette Cooper who is now telling us she is going to pass legislation making it illegal for public officials to hide the gang ape of children, as if she didn't know why Amanda Chatterton had been voted out. This is just another example of how this scandal goes to the highest level of our Labour government. I think we must remember, not every Catholic is a paid-up member of the new IRA. Just like not every Muslim is a membership of an ape gang. We must also remember, while the many thousands of children who were aped, tortured, and in some cases murdered, were predominantly white British girls, most of which were under the age of consent, there were also Sikh, Hindu and white British boys targeted for sex and torture. It must be remembered that Muslim Pakistani British citizens make up almost 2% of the UK population. Yet, they represent, some say up to 80% of child ape gangs. This scandal is still coming out, and I'm sure we will eventually find that many more thousands of our daughters have been violated by men that should not be allowed to stay in Britain. I'll put Raja's details in the box below. I think it's important we all share our knowledge of counsellors that may have played a part in the cover-up of the ape of British children. But we must not speculate. And it is thanks to people like Raja that evidence is now coming to the nation's attention. What are your thoughts on this? Have your say by leaving a comment in the box below, and join our growing community. For now, I'll say, stay safe, stay warm, and we'll chat again soon.